We are building the Sports Heroes project from the YByte Python curriculum available at www.ybyte.in. We have been doing a lot of analysis on sports data, particularly Wimbledon. In fact, we started with the raw CSV file, and from there we extracted, for example, the list of all the unique winners, actually a set, and then a set of people who have won this tournament more than once. Now, clearly, we would want to repeat this analysis, for example, in this case for French Open, and perhaps we want to do this for other tournaments as well, which means that it will make a lot of sense for us to convert all the code that we have written so far for analysis into a single function, so that we can call it again and again. In fact, the way we have written this code, it's very conducive to be converted to a function, as we'll see in just a moment. All we will do is that we will create a function with two arguments, say t name, which is the tournament name, and t data for tournament data. Really, like I said, all the code is already there. We just need to do proper indentation and we'll be good. And once this function is ready, we can start calling this as, let's say, Wimbledon data. So this should be a M here, and French Open, say French Open data, and perhaps even more tournaments. It's good to just look at a big picture view of what this function is looking like. So like I said, we are giving arguments, tournament name, tournament data. So these are like the inputs to the function. Analysis happens in here. The analysis results get written into the text file. We have seen that with the print table and print line. And the function returns to us, let's say, a set of winners and set of, let's say, more than once winners. This creates a good picture. Of course, you can do a lot more analysis and return, say, many more other values. Also have them, let's say, updated in the text file. But we will just stick with this. So I get here to my code. Remember, everything that we have been analyzing here starts from line number 51 in this case. And prior to that, I have created two variables, t name, which is Wimbledon, t data, which is Wimbledon data. Now this is all intentional so that I can use these names. Once I create the function, the names can continue. So what I'll do is that I'll just create a def statement here, say analyze, let's say analyze, and let's say t name comma t data. Now I will have to be careful because from this point on everything has to be, let's say, indented. I'll do that. And very, very important, I must add a return statement at the proper indentation. Now, how do I know what indentation it should be? Well, just look at the function itself. It's sort of basically at this level is where I need to put the return statements. I just go all the way to the end and just go and say, well, return, please, let's say winners, say set, and MTO winner set. In fact, that's all we need now, just for the sake of, let's say, organizing the code a bit better, and removing the redundancies. So I will comment out, let's say, these two statements because, like I said, now these will be called in from the function as arguments. I will take these two lines to the very end, because that way functions are defined in the beginning and then the code starts. So that's always generally good. Now, having done this, I just need to call this function a couple of times. So I will do that here, say, Wimbledon, say winners, and say Wimbledon, say MTO winners. And that's given, I use the function analyze to get, let's say, Wimbledon and pass this function as an argument, Wimbledon data. I will also do the same thing for the French Open. So here, instead of Wimbledon, I'll pass it, say, French Open data. Just be careful not to have any redundancies. The tournament name in this case, of course, will be French Open. And I will, of course, name these differently, these sets. So that's French Open, say MTO winners. And finally, I'll have, let's say, French Open, winners over here. Now, there's a small little problem in this code right now, but let's run this and see what's going on so that we get a better feel, and then we can go and fix this as well. So when I now run this piece of code, everything runs fine. I just look at, let's say, Wimbledon winners. Well, that is this set which we have been looking at. I can look at Wimbledon MTO winners. That's a smaller set. The same exact function has been called to do French Open analysis. So if I look at French Open, let's say, say winners, that is another set. Now, amazing. We haven't written much code here, but all of that is working fine. I can look at French Open, let's say MTO winners, and that is another set. Not just that, I expect my analysis.dat to have also been updated. But like I said, there's a intentional problem that I'm leaving here because quite likely to happen anyway. You notice that in fact, our results are reporting only the French Open. Somehow the Wimbledon got missed. But other than that, everything is coming out properly. When I look at my code, I kind of figure out what's going on. Basically, the problem is that my initialize is happening inside the analyze. In fact, initialize should be happening outside because I create the file only once and I will write the Wimbledon data and let's say the French Open data in the same file. Right now with initialize inside analyze, it's creating a new file for Wimbledon, which is then getting overwritten by the French Open file. We don't want that. We want to create the file only once in the very beginning outside these functions, and after that it is should be fine. So when I run this now, you notice when I look at my analysis, first I get my Wimbledon data. So that's this table. Then I get my French Open over. Notice from line 28 onwards, it's all for French Open. And I get my, let's say, data published also in a nice way. Clearly, one thing stands out beautifully here. Rafael Nadal has won this tournament 14 times. I mean, this is incredible. But of course, we know this. That's why we, such a strong fan following and so on, right? Very, very interesting. This is nicely shaping up. Like I said, more analysis could be done, but you see the value of having created this analyze function, which makes us use this code again and again, just like we expect from a function. Hope you found this interesting. In general, this way of learning makes learning much more interesting because you are applying concepts to something that we enjoy. Look at our website, www.ybyte.in, because that is how we learn Python programming. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.